this topic. We will look into the book of Psalm.
What else going on?
The book of Psalm, please, let's open to the book of Psalm. The book of Psalm 141, verse 1 to 10. That is the whole chapter. The book of Psalm 141, how to maximize our full potentials. That is what we will be looking at, possibly in 4 different sections. I would not jam them together so that we don't spend too much time and so that we also get to understand it properly. So let's begin reading from verse number 1. Lord, I cry unto thee, make haste unto me, give ear unto my voice. When I cry unto thee, let my prayer be set forth before thee as incense, and the lifting up of my hand as the evening sacrifice. Set a watch, O Lord, before my mouth. Keep the door of my lips. Incline to my heart. Incline not my heart to any evil thing, to practice wicked works with men that walk iniquity, and let me not eat of their food. Let the righteous meet me, it shall be a kindness. And let him reprove me, it shall be an excellent oil, which shall not break my head. For yet my prayer also shall be in their calamities. Verse number 6. When their judges are overthrown in stony places, they shall hear my words, for they are sweet. Our bones are scattered at the grave's mouth, as when one cutteth and cleaveth wood upon the earth. But my eyes are upon thee, O God. The Lord in thee is my trust. Leave not my soul destitute. Keep me from the snares which they have laid for me, and the trap of the workers of iniquity. Let the wicked fall into their own nets, wise that I withered escape. That is King James Version. Introduction. This psalm is written by King David. This psalm is written by King David. And he was dealing with an issue. Most of the psalms are written based on events that surround the lives of the author. Events that surround the lives of the author, what they were dealing with at a particular time. But in this particular psalm, David was dealing with 2 major issues. He was dealing with the issue of his son, Absalom, who tried to overthrow him in 2 Samuel chapter 15 through 19. He was also dealing with the issue of Saul, King Saul, who tried to kill him. And they eventually met at the cave of Engedi. Instead of David killing Saul, he cut the edge of his skirt. And he went away. That will be seen in the book of 1 Samuel chapter 24. So when you look at these 2 events, you not want to look at our topic today and says, how does this relate to maximizing our full potentials? God created everybody with, destiny. We have a purpose that God gave us. God gave us a purpose in life. And along the way, we get stuck. We get, we become stagnant. We become immovable. We can't move forward because of events that surround our lives. Because of the events that surround our lives. These events will determine whether we will reach our target or whether we are going to remain in that same place. Remember that sometimes when you are in a journey, you have a punctured tire. Where your tire punctured is not where you are going. So you are still on a journey. And so you need to make sure you get a replacement, you fix the tire accordingly to continue the journey. So what just happened with the punctured tire is distraction. And so when distraction occur and you did not handle it properly, you don't maximize your potential. You don't maximize your God-given potential. You are just halfway into what God has called you to do, and then you stop on the way. So the events that occur in the life of David, these two major events were two determining factor of David's life. If he had chosen to kill Saul, how would he have lived the rest of his days, knowing that he has killed the Lord anointed? We will get into all of that. There are some certain things we have done in life that entrap us, it keep us stagnant. So lesson outline, we will look at, in this passage, we're going to look at the wisdom of growth. The wisdom of growth. We will look at the wisdom of choice. The wisdom of choice. Choice you make, in every day-to-day activity, especially in an event or in a situation where it is becoming very difficult when you have so many options, you make a choice. Wisdom of full potential, how to actually maximize your full potentials. And then wisdom of contentment. Why wisdom? Why wisdom? When you look into Psalm 141, Psalm 141, verse number 5 speak of something unique, something very, very profound. Let's read it. It said, let the righteous meet me. It shall be a kindness. And let him reprove me. It shall be an excellent oil, which shall not break my head. For yet my prayer also shall be in their calamities. This is very, very powerful. I did try to understand this passage at the very first time, but it takes me a long time to read until I do some cross Bible reference, and translations rather, to check the meaning of what verse 5 was saying. So I went to NIV. NIV has it this way. He said, let the righteous man strike me, that is a kindness. Let him rebuke me, that is oil on my head. My head will not refuse it. My head will not refuse it. And for my prayer will still be against the deeds of evildoers. So you see a little changes from NIV and King James Version. But when you go to the Living Bible translation, which is called TLB, it said, let the godly smite me. It will be kindness. If they reprove me, it is medicine. Don't let me refuse it, but I am in constant prayer against the wicked and their deeds. So the Living Bible kind of lay it open it so plain, it simplified. So when we talk about reproof in NIV, say when the righteous strike me or smite me, which is interpreted into correction. When the righteous correct me, that is the meaning of that word strike, not a strike as in trying to make you, harm you, kind of. No. This is a strike of correction. This is a rod of correction. So the Living Translation Bible says it is medicine. It is medicine. We all need medicine. We all need medicine for healing. Whether it is herbal medicine or English medicine, whatever it is, we all need medicine. So David considered the reproof of the righteous as a medicine. And why is it a medicine? It enables us to grow. It enables us to make the right choice. It enables us to have full potential. And it enables us to be content with what we have. It enables us to be content with what we have. In maximizing our full potential, it takes humility to get to the next level. It takes humility to get to the next level. No one knows it all. No one knows it all. We all depend on each other. There are certain things you think is right, but when people give you the explanation or show you exactly what you are doing, it will shock you. David was going through all kinds of feeling and emotion. Like I told you, there were two issues he was dealing with. The issue of the son and rebellion, and the issue of King Saul, hatred. Nobody who is in the right sense will not be under emotions or feelings. Nobody in the right sense will not be, completely devastated with the situation. You don't know what to do. You have so many options. Though, should David actually go in battle and kill his own son because of power, because of throne? Should he kill the Lord anointed because he wants protection for himself? There are so many things that come up. I don't know how many people online tonight. There are issues before you now. You have so many options. Choosing from them, making the right decision is difficult, because either ways, there is going to be a scratch. There is going to be a scars. You are going to leave a scar somewhere. But there are scars that we will leave that will not matter now, but in the future becomes a reference point. You see, the man that killed the king, the man that killed his son, the man that stole our money, the man that destroyed our kingdom, the man that took away my wife, my husband, the man that killed, the man that made my life miserable. These are scars that will be there forever. Even if the situation gets okay, even if these things are settled, these scars remain there. And so making a decision in life is very, very important in fulfilling our, in maximizing our full potentials. The choice we make is very important. The choice we make is very important. So David was dealing with so much emotion, feelings and emotions. He was navigating his options and trying to look at what he has. But the good news and bad news for David was that he has the resources to do it. For instance, if he had wanted to kill his son, it's just a question of getting up army, raising up. So they're giving the command to the military to do it. If he had wanted to kill King Saul, he had King Saul at the right place where he wanted him. These are emotions that were going through the head of Saul. It was a moment of choice for King David, as to what line of action to take. Have you been in that position where you are in the crossroad? You don't know what next line of action you are going to take. And at the end of the day, even when you make the choice, the decision, you weigh the consequences of our action. If I go left, this will happen. How does that affect my future? How does that, benefit me? Do I stand a chance of becoming the praise of this nation? Do I stand a chance of becoming, a bona fide individual in the community I live in if I do this? You weigh your actions, the consequences of your action. And then there are times we want to pull back. There are times we want to say, no, these actions are not good enough. Though they are easy, though I have the resources, I have the manpower, I have the knowledge, I can do it and nobody will question me. I can do it and I will not answer to anybody. But on the long run, the scars will be there. The scars will speak to you. He does not want to pay evil for evil. David did not want to pay evil for evil and be trapped in the past. Remember the options: killing his son for peace to reign, killing Saul, and then entered into the throne, which was a very good choice for him, but he would be paying evil for evil, and then he will be trapped in the past. He will not be able to stand before the entire Israel and expect honor, because he will be referred to as a man that killed the king. This is a difficult choice for him to make. He does not also want to carry anger, bitterness, and poison. He did not want to carry anger. When you have issues, when you have an emotions and feelings to deal with, they generate anger, bitterness, and poison. This is what, emotions and feelings carries. They generate anger, bitterness, and poison. Let us look at Psalm 142 verse 7. David prayed a prayer there. Psalm 142 verse 7. He said, I cried unto thee, O Lord. I said, thou art my refuge and my portion in the land of the living. Attend unto my cry, for I am brought very low. Deliver me from the persecutors, for they are stronger than I. Bring my soul out of prison, that I may praise thy name. The righteous shall compass me about, for thou shalt deal bountifully with me. David mentioned prison. Which prison? The prison of his conscience. The prison of his conscience. His prayer was so much. He prayed, oh Lord, bring me out of prison. Lord, please hurry up. Lord, rescue me from evil people. Lord, hear my cry, for I am very low. In Psalm 142, verse 7. What are the lessons from this passage? Psalm 141, verse 1 to 10. In everything we do, wisdom is needed. Wisdom. The lesson from this passage is wisdom. We will not be able to maximize our full potentials when wisdom does not take its place. We will not be able to do what? Maximize our full potential when wisdom does not take its place in our lives. Wisdom will help us make, or wisdom will make our life a healthy one. Wisdom will make our life complete. Wisdom will make our life balanced. Wisdom will make our life strong. Wisdom, when you act or when you dwell in wisdom in every given situation, at times you will not know the decision you take for your action at a given time. But on the long run, like I said, it will become a very, very solid foundation for you in time to come. Let me give you a very brief or quick example. Many years ago, Bill Clinton, the former president of America, was in a mess of adultery. And he was tried in the court, and not that they exonerate him, he kind of substitutes his future political run to escape being punished as the president of America. Now, everybody was looking onto Hillary, the wife. They were looking onto him. Many believe Hillary was going to seize the opportunity to divorce him. Many were saying he has the knife, he has the yam. Did not the Bible says, if you choose to, you are not under any law? But that woman carefully weighed her options, sat down. I am sure she prayed. She's in a political arena. She has a political future, desire. How does she want to be remembered? Not many years after the issue of Bill Clinton, she began to run for office of the President of the United States. There was one thing, one qualification that was not in her resume: a divorcee. Why? She was able to use wisdom to navigate the issue before her hand. If she had eventually said, well, yes, I will seize the opportunity to divorce him, who would have wanted to vote or want a divorcee as a president of the United States? That would have bring her morale. That would have bring her credibility completely down. Blessed be the name of the Lord. They are still married together today. Why? Wisdom. She used wisdom. Though many were saying, crucify him, she used wisdom. There are people within your reach. They have offended you. They have done, so many things that the whole world is saying, crucify him, kill him, poison them. Use wisdom because of your tomorrow. Use wisdom if you want to maximize your full potential. Use wisdom if you want to get to the next level of your life. So wisdom makes us healthy. Wisdom makes us complete. Wisdom makes our life balanced. Wisdom makes our life strong. How do you deal with growth? I told you this teaching is going to be in 4 sections. Wisdom of growth. How do you do with growth in the face of conviction? in the face of conviction, or how do you deal with growth rather? Your response to conviction determines how you grow. Whether you are going to remain in one place or you are going to expand. You know, there are certain things that happen. It is meant for evil though, but the way you respond to it will blow you up. Joseph said, you meant evil for me, but God turned it to good. And the Bible says, all things work together for good to them that do what? Love God. If you love God, all things work together for good. So in the face of conviction, how do you respond? If you must grow, your response to conviction, your response to lies, your response to backstabbing, your response to the gossip they did in your back, determine whether you are going to grow or you are not going to grow. Your response to your conviction determines your next stage. This is exactly what David did. What is growth? Growth is the process of increasing in physical size, the upward growth of plants. That is growth. It could be, in life, it could be in business, it could be in marriage, it could be anything, anywhere. It is the process of increasing. If you must increase, it depends on your response, how you respond to that news you heard. That information, that action, the way, that person who stepped on your toe, how you respond to it, it determines your growth. So we said what? Growth is the process of increasing, a process of increasing. Then what is conviction? Conviction is a formal declaration that someone is guilty of criminal offense made by verdict of a jury or the decision of a judge in the court of law. When people say you are bad, how do you respond? When people say you are a witch, how do you respond? When people say you are mumu, how do you respond? Your response to your conviction determines your growth. What people say about you doesn't matter. It is what you say about yourself. What people speak about you, it doesn't matter. How you react to it is what matters. In my place, they say, goji, goji. No gieke, or oji. In other words, when they say thief, 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 it's the person that look back that is a thief. So your reaction determines whether you will grow or you will not grow. David prayer in verse 4, I think this is taken from either the TLB translation. This is taken from the TLB. It said, don't let me drift towards evil or take part in the art of wickedness. In the King James Version, it says, verse 4, incline not my heart to any evil thing, to practice wicked works with men that walk iniquity, and let me not eat of their food. This is the King James Version. But the TLB says what? Don't let me. It says, don't let me drift. Drift is a strong word. I will use the word drift. Rather than incline, I will use the word drift. To drift means to stay off the track, to move away from your original path. To drift is to, take a different direction. David said, don't let me drift. Why? Because of offense. Offense has caused many people to drift. The way they react to their conviction, they have drifted. They have drifted. Why is this prayer very important? The conscience, for the conscience sake. That is what makes this prayer very important. Many people have drifted. They have drifted because They have a choice to make. They have a name to make. They have praises to receive. He said, don't let me drift. Every conviction hangs in the conscience. Every conviction, every offense, every gossip, every backbiting, every then say, they all hang in the conscience. If I ask some of us, the things that happened to us in our school days, in our village, 30 years ago, is still in our conscience, is still there. Some of us are still acting that way. There are some streets we don't pass because of some people. There are some more we don't go because of some people. We know they go there, so we just avoid it. We don't go there anymore. Not to talk of church. Many people have abandoned, they have left church because people are there. The people they don't want to see, they are there. So David says, God, don't let me drift. Don't let me take a different path. Don't let me become a different person, the person that I am not, a wicked person. No, I don't want to be there, that person. I don't want to be, to become like evil people. Every conviction hangs in the conscience. This is the stage of stagnancy. We are talking about maximizing our full potentials. If you are stagnant, you cannot maximize your full potentials. And in order for us to grow, we must be able to respond to things that happen around us. Why do you think plants grow? When rain falls, it depends on the way the plant responds to the rain, the way the plant responds to the sun, the way the plant responds to the wind. This is what helps the plant to grow. In the midst of conviction, what stands out loud and clear is revenge. Revenge is the order of the day. With a loud voice, revenge stand out loud. And in many cases, it is the item that pacifies us, that kind of bring relief to many people. Do they thought or they believe that will bring relief to them? Let me just slap him. Until I slap him, I will not be myself. Why? You are stagnant. In 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 9 to 14, 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 9 to 14, the Bible have this to say, not rendering evil for evil or railing for railing, but counterwise blessing, knowing that ye are thereunto called, that ye should inherit a blessing. For ye that will love life and see good days, let him refrain from tongue, from evil, and his lips that they speak no guile. Let him eschew evil and do good. Let him seek peace and ensure it. For the eyes of the Lord are over the righteous, and his ears are open unto their prayers. But the face of the Lord is against them that do evil. And who is he that would harm you if you follow, or if you are followers of that which is good? And if ye suffer for righteousness' sake, happy are ye, and be not afraid of their terror, neither be troubled. Here, Peter make it very clear. Don't render evil for evil. Don't render evil for evil. Eschew evil. So retaliation in any form, in any category we may look at it, is evil. In any form. He caused me, I cause him. Is evil. In Romans chapter 12, verse 17 to 21, it says the same thing. It said, recompense no man evil for evil. Provide things honest in the sight of all men, if it be possible, as much as lieth in you, live peaceably with all men. You can read the remaining verses. Romans chapter 12, verse 17 to 21. David is dealing with the issue of drifting here. Remember, I mentioned distraction at the beginning. Whatever happened in life, they do happen because they want to distract you. A friend you never expect will act, that you call your best friend, will turn around and act very unseemly. You wonder, where does this thing come from? It's distraction. And sometimes when this happens, we remain there. All our focus, all our attention, all our energy, in fact, all our senses is planning on how to retaliate, how to revenge. We are planning on how to revenge. And in the process of planning, our fellowship with God is hindered. Even when God is speaking, we don't hear. When you see a phone call from pastor, you will think, oh, he's going to talk about that. You won't pick. You are drifting away from the grace. So David says, don't let me drift. Don't let me drift. David, prayer enables us to know the importance of cooperating with God in every circumstances. In every situation, we need to cooperate. We need to allow God a space. We need to allow God to determine the next line of action. If we were David, maybe we'll say, well, out of how many child he has, one out of that does not mean anything, in as much it means evil for me. Let him take his head to carry the evil. And if King Saul did not want me to leave, why would he leave? Opportunity. We kill him. Many of us don't even have opportunity. We go out of our way to herbalist. Help me kill him. He has been a tongue on my flesh. You are drifting away from church to idol worshiping. You have just drifted. David is fighting his feelings and emotions to break out into retaliation. Like I said, every conviction, beckons on retaliation. You want to retaliate and have peace. So this was David's problem. He was dealing with this retaliation. And remember, if David make any move, if he do anything out of wisdom, it will affect him in future as the king of Israel. He would be labeled as the king that killed the king. And that would have even bring a sudden division, rebel to many, to many of the subjects. Many will say, well, because of what you do, we will not support you as a king. Did not the Bible say, "Touch not my anointed and do my prophet no harm"? So you have contradicted the law of God yourself. Let's move on. David has been greatly injured by Absalom and Saul without a shadow of doubt. Sister, brother, that person, that man, that woman, even your parents, your in-law, your brother, your manager, they have injured you. They have lied against you. It is true. Even if nobody believes you, it is true. They have injured you. They have done harm to you. You have opportunity to retaliate. You have opportunity to have payback, but don't. Weigh your choices very well. Apply wisdom. apply wisdom. Romans chapter 7, verse 18. He said, Romans 7, verse 18, for I know that in me, that is in my flesh, dwelleth no good thing. For the will is present with me, but how to perform that which is good, I find not. So there is this struggle inside of us. When it comes to doing good, we are very sluggish. But when it comes to doing evil, very fast and accurate. We will do it without a trace. Without a trace. When we want to do business online, we don't pray about it. But we want to give offering, we pray about it. We ask God, should I really do this? Will I drift towards evil because of my pride? Now, the reason many people retaliate is their pride. Oh, a whole king, somebody drove you out of your palace, and you are here crying, you are hiding. If I were you, I will show them that I am a king. We already know you are king, brother. Even if you don't retaliate, you are still king. In fact, the only way we look like Jesus is when we forgive like Jesus forgive. Will you drift because of evil, or will you drift towards evil and become evildoer because of your pride, your position, your personality, your name, your title, your fame, your money? Will you drift because of that? How then can you then conquer your anger that is calling for retaliation? Anger has no medicine, no therapy. Anger, no sleeping tablet for it. There is an invitation that keeps beckoning on us from time to time. And that invitation is the invitation of revenge. How do you respond to that invitation to revenge? To revenge on those who have caused you pain. What would be the only thing that will break you out of that prison of anger? Forgiveness. The answer is simple. If there is anything for anger and bitterness, any medicine for anger and bitterness, I often hear people say, well, this is how I am. No, I'm prescribing these drugs for you today. Forgiveness. Take it. It has no limit, no overdose. Take it as many as you can. In fact, Peter asked Jesus Christ this question, how many times should I forgive? Is it 7 times? Jesus said, no, I didn't tell you 7 times. He says 70 times 7. Translation has a different record. Some translations say 70 times, no times 7. And some say 70 times 7, which is 490. But when you look into a detailed reference, Genesis chapter 4, verse 24, Lamech was, kind of bragging when he heard that any man that killed Cain will be avenged 7 times. And then he said he would do his own 77 times. So some of the translations have it to be 77 times, while others says 70 times 7. But whichever one, I have not seen somebody who can offend you in one day, 70 times 7, which means forgiveness in its totality. Forgiveness is allowing God to render the judgments. Forgiveness is releasing you of getting even. Forgiveness in its totality is not a choice, or it's not an option, but a command. Sometimes when I tell people, the 10 Commandments is not just only the 10 Commandments. There are many, tons of other commandments that just as we obey those 10 Commandments, we need to obey this one. Forgiveness is one of them. The Bible says, forgive ye one another. That is commandment. It's not it's not like instruction. It's not like an opinion that they are asking us to make a choice. No, it's a commandment. And the Lord's Prayer says what? Forgive us our trespasses as we have forgiven those. If you don't forgive, why are you asking for forgiveness? So it's a command. Ephesians chapter 4, verse 32 says, and be ye kind one to another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as God, for Christ's sake, had forgiven you. So you are already enjoying something that you are depriving other people from enjoying. If you must maximize your full potentials, your archive of unforgiveness must be empty. Nothing should be there. Your archives, oh, that man that offended me, this person that offended me, no, don't let it. I think I share a testimony of Kim Wetland. How I read his book and I saw how he was offended by a doctor, a medical doctor, who gave him a wrong medication. And that medication now make him to become, he was shaky. Each time he stand, he become unbalanced. He carries that bitterness for many years. And one day he was in the same mall with that same doctor. And to cut the long story short, he said God asked him to buy a gift for the man. And he said, God, this cannot be you. Somebody who has ruined my life this many years, destroyed my ministry. How can I be? He should be the one that should bring gift for me. He said the day he brought that gift to that man, that was the day he received his healing. The shaking stopped. So forgiveness is not an option, it's a command. Forgiveness is a choice, not a feeling. You don't, some people will say, I will forgive him when I feel like. No, you are making a big mistake. It's a choice that you have to, because you are in a part of expecting a forgiveness. So if you don't forgive, you don't expect forgiveness. So forgiveness is a choice, not a feeling. Forgiveness is for your benefit. When we tell you to forgive, we are not asking you to forgive the person because the person has something to benefit. No, for your benefit. Your heart is heavy, your BP is high, you are so depressed, you are weighed down, and everything about you is about this problem. But when you forgive, you forget about it. Your blood pressure. So forgiveness is for your benefit, not for your offender. Forgiveness is for your own benefit. Forgiveness is a process, not an event. Forgiveness is a process, not an event. You are never any more like Jesus than when you are in the process of forgiving. Because Jesus is always in the process of forgiving, you must also forgive. Unforgiveness. Look at this. If you didn't take anything today, please listen to this as a roundup. Unforgiveness is the poison we drink while we wait for other people to die. I will repeat that. Unforgiveness is the poison we drink while we are waiting for our offenders to die. Do you know what happened? Because of the power of the poison, sometimes we don't live to see the consequences, the punishment for our offenders. And then we say, does God really care about us? Does God really avenge for his loved ones. Yes, he does. You have already taken unforgiveness, which is poison. And poison begin to take effect on you. So even before judgment, your enemy is already done. And those who offend you, they are just going their way, enjoying life. And here you are carrying a heavy heart of burden. Living with hurt feeling will never motivate you to right decision or action. When you live with hurt feelings because people hurt you, you are living with it. Every decision you make is wrong. I am telling you that maximizing your full potentials is about your growth. And if you must grow, these are your response to your conviction determines your growth. You cannot grow when you carry the hurt feelings in your heart. Forgiveness. When we freely receive forgiveness and we freely give it to we freely give it, something happens. We remove ourselves from the control of others, and we are released from the anger and pain that attach itself to those painful past. When we release ourselves, when we freely receive forgiveness and we freely give, what do? You remove yourself from the control of others. Why is others? When you see them, your blood pressure don't go up. When you see them, you don't run away from the path they are taking because you don't want to see them. When you see them, you don't close your eye. So that is the control of others. And you release the anger and pain attached to it. You are free from this pain. If you watch documentary, you sometimes see that murderers in the United States, people, they kill their people. They are very quick to, even before, when the case is still in the court or during the process of trial, they will say they forgive them. They forgive them. Why? They don't want to carry the burden. They don't want to have that pain, that attached to that pain. But the sad thing is this, as I close. When we call for altar call in church, when we kneel down in the prayer ground in church, we are praying together, maybe for a sister, for a brother. And yet, among the people that change hands, there are people that are not talking to each other. There are people that are not forgiving each other. There are people that have bound themselves, even with an oath, that till they die, they will not forgive themselves. And tell me, which God are you praying to? Release yourself. Move on in life. Your response to your growth determines, to your conviction determines your growth. Next week, we will deal with this. Your choice in life, how to deal with choice is your response over. We will deal with that next week. God bless you. Please, if you don't have questions, kindly ask your question.